Hi, Hollie. Thank you so much for coming and speaking to me today and taking some time out of your schedule. For the benefit of the audience watching this, I'll just introduce you. So Hollie is currently an apprentice at Arcadis while studying towards a level 6 Environmental Practitioner degree qualification. Here at the IES, we're really keen to raise awareness about routes into the sector through apprenticeships within the environmental sciences. So kindly, Hollie has volunteered to have a chat with me today about her apprenticeship and her experiences so far working towards this qualification. Thank you, Hollie. So Hollie, can you give a bit of background and tell us what you were doing before this apprenticeship? Were you working or studying?
Yeah, so I went into my apprenticeship straight from secondary school. So I took my A levels in maths, physics, classical civilization. So nothing that particularly relates to environmentalism, but I had always had an interest in it. And so I did things outside of school, like youth panels and volunteering, that sort of displayed my interest in environmentalism, which, yeah, I think really helped me when I applied for this job. But yeah.
So you applied for the job as it was a normal job that you'd be going for, but it just so happened to have a kind of apprenticeship attached to it. Is that correct?
So I did actually always want a degree, and I kind of leaned more towards apprenticeships just because it had, I felt so much more to offer than perhaps a full-time degree. I didn't realize that there was an environmental apprenticeship. So it was I sort of stumbled this apprenticeship, but yeah, I was very, very happy that I did. I kind of always wanted a degree because nobody in my family had had the opportunity to go to university before. So it was always an aspiration of mine to be the first in my family to obtain a degree. But the apprenticeship, the university lifestyle didn't particularly appeal to me. I didn't really like the idea of sort of leaving home. I'm quite close to my family, and also the debt side of things didn't massively appeal to me. But obviously, with an apprenticeship, you have your university fees paid for. You are also given a salary, and yeah, it just kind of seems like a no-brainer option for me. Also, get work experience at the same time. So yeah, it completely appealed to me.
Amazing. I mean, it does sound like a fantastic way to gain a degree, not have debt at the end of it, and the fees are so high these days. And yeah, like you say, it enables you to gain experience on the job as well. It's interesting that you stumbled across this, and it does kind of highlight to us that we need to be promoting these opportunities more. Well, that's really interesting. So how long have you been doing the apprenticeship now? Like, how long have you been on your program?
Yeah, so I joined Arcadis September 2021. So I've been here for a year and a couple of months now. And degree-wise, I'm now sort of halfway through the second year of my degree, and my degree course is 5 years long, to give you an idea of how far through I am.
Yeah, and when do you do the university element of the role?
Yeah, so I attend university 1 day a week. For me, that's every Thursday, and I actually go into university to do that. So I know some apprenticeships, including environmental apprenticeships, you can do it online. But for me, I physically go in, which is really nice because I get to meet other apprentices from other companies who are also attending that university. So yeah, that's really nice.
And all the people that you meet on that day in university, are they also doing environmental practitioner apprenticeships, or are they doing other things?
Yes, so we're all working towards the same environmental degree. We just happen to be from different companies. We're also put in classes with the full-time students who, again, are working towards an environmental degree. So yeah, it's really nice to sort of get that integration. And I think it's also nice to have different perspectives as well from the full-time students and the different apprentices. So yeah, it's
Oh,
really nice.
fantastic. Well, it sounds like you're getting the best of both worlds there. So can you just tell us a
Yeah.
little bit about Arcadis, and what they do, what is that organisation, and also kind of what your role is within that organisation too?
Yeah, so Arcadis is a consultancy organization. I specifically sit in the sustainability advisory team, so that ties in really nicely with my degree. For me, my role is at the moment, there's different aspects of the sustainability team. So people specialize in different areas. And for me, I'm just trying to get experience in all of the areas so that I can make a decision as to which areas interest me the most and what I want to end up specializing in. But yeah, at the moment, I'm sort of leaning more towards renewable energy. So I really enjoy working on things like solar panels and wind farms. And I particularly love simulating these. So I've got to grips with a really cool simulation program where I can design solar PV, solar
Wow.
panel farms, and simulate them and make them 3D. So you can present something that's pretty real to the client. So yeah, it's very
Wow,
fun.
that sounds incredible. What an experience. And
Yeah.
what other so are there other sections in the organisation that you're able to get experience in as well, or do you stay within that sustainability team throughout?
Um, yeah, so there are sort of other sections that sort of relate to our team. So like an ecology team, I have worked briefly with them. And there's also a sustainable operations team in Arcadis, which is a lot of overlap with the sustainability advisory team, which is the one I'm on. But I have also worked with the human factors team. So that's not anything to do with sustainability, but it is still getting experience in consultancy and speaking to clients and gaining sort of public speaking experience, presentation experience. So yeah, that's all been really valuable.
Amazing. So what is a typical day like in your role? Can you kind of describe what some of the activities that you do?
Yeah, so I think every day is different and it really depends on the projects you're working on. But for me, let's say we take a Monday, we'll begin the day by having a call with the whole sustainability team, sorting out project work, checking everyone's got enough projects for the week. And then I will usually get straight on and do my projects after that call. So that could be anything from pulling together reports for a client, simulating solar panel designs, stakeholder engagement, putting together presentations for a client presentation later that week. So yeah, it can really be anything, and you'll typically have a few calls throughout the day to do with that project, just to check progress, next steps, that kind of stuff. And then I tend to finish my working day around 5:30. But you can also have site visits, which will take up typically a whole day or maybe 2 days. So I had a site visit earlier this week to Hatfield, and they are usually to go and meet the client in person, and see what you're working on in person. So for example, if I was designing a solar panel farm, I could then go and see the land that solar panel farm would sit on in person and get a better sense of things. So there's that aspect too.
Amazing. And do you do that with a colleague, or do you tend to do that independently?
Yeah, so I do it with a colleague. Arcadis has a lone working policy, so wherever possible, you don't work on your own, you work with a colleague. But yeah, I do tend to travel up on my own, but I find that really exciting. I quite like that independence. And sometimes you do stay overnight, and Arcadis will give you a hotel and food and everything. So yeah, that's always really fun.
Fantastic. Well, sounds like you are gaining so many important skills that will enable you to secure a job after this undoubtedly. So what do you think are the kind of key skills that you're gaining from this experience, that you'll be able to kind of take forward into your kind of first graduate job?
Yeah, so I think most importantly, in the area that I progress most in is soft skills, which I think are important for any job that you want to go into. So things like presenting and public speaking. I remember doing my A levels and doing a few public speaking events and finding it so panic inducing and just horrible.
Yeah.
And yeah, I joined Arcadis and I started university, and I was gently pushed and encouraged to do like small presentations and have small speaking roles, and I've sort of grown in confidence since then, and I am much more able to do things like speaking to clients face to face, one on one, present to them. So yeah, I've seen my confidence massively skyrocket, which is amazing. And I think sort of fundamental sort of software and program skills.
One last question is, and I should have asked you this right at the beginning, which university are you studying at?
Yeah, so I'm studying at the University of the West of England, so UE, and I should note that when you apply for apprenticeship, you apply to the job rather than the university. So you're sort of assigned a university.
I see.
But yeah, I really enjoy going to UE. The lecturers there are really superb actually, and they sort of they design the course around you to fit your apprenticeship, which is really nice. But yeah, it's great.
So in terms of when you're applying for that apprenticeship, and they assign you to a university, do they give you a bit of an idea about whether you'll be there in person or whether you'll be doing it remotely? Do you get to know kind of those details before you apply or during?
It's usually after you've applied. So it really depends sort of where you're based and where your nearest university is that teaches these apprenticeship courses. So yeah, it's usually after you apply, but yeah, it wasn't a problem for me.
Amazing. Well, that's absolutely fantastic, and I really enjoyed talking to you today, Hollie. And I won't take up any more of your time. So it was lovely to meet you, and I hope we'll stay in touch.
Thank you so much. Lovely to meet you too.
Take care. Bye bye.